know what is the reality, what is their real position in this world.
这就是愚昧形态，人们不知道自己在这个世界上的地位到底是什么。
And the symptom of madness is to think, I am this body, and at the end of life, and I'm finished. When this body dies, I'm also finished. This is mad.
疯狂的征兆就是，我认为我自己就是这个躯体，我这躯体完了的话，我自己也就完蛋了。
If you think there's no God in control of this world, then you're also mad.
如果你认为没有神来控制这个世界，你也是疯狂的。
And from the mode of ignorance, then you're destined to enter into the hellish species of life, to take an animal body or enter into some hellish planet.
那么在愚昧形态之中，肯定呢，最终的结果就是说，要去这地狱般的地方，要最后会投生在动物的种族。
So another symptom of the mode of ignorance is people are not only are people depressed about their situation in the material world, but they will take to intoxication.
愚昧形态的另外一个特征就是说，人们不仅仅非常的对他们自己在这个世界上的地位感到很沮丧，同时他们还要服用麻醉品。
This is a very big problem now all over the world.
这是全世界的一个大问题。
In England, I was just seeing that in England, 50% of all the young children under 15 have taken drugs.
我看到就在英国有50%的年轻人在15岁以前就吸食过毒品。
And practically all the schools all over America and England, Europe, all the young school children there, they all take drugs.
而且普遍来说，在美国、英国还有欧洲，所有的那些学校里的学生们，他们都服用毒品。
Again, this is a mode of ignorance.
再一次，这是愚昧形态。
Because by taking intoxication, they forget their real existence.
因为通过服食麻醉品，他们忘记了自己真正的存在。
The intoxication will come in many different forms. They will take cough syrup.
那么麻醉品可以很多的形式出现，比如说咳嗽糖浆。
They will go to the chemist shop. They will get any kind of tranquilizers or amphetamines, any kind of drug, and they will take it in huge quantities.
他们到药店去买这个镇定剂，或者是说维他命之类的各种综合的制剂，然后有很大量的服食。
Some people will just simply smell chemicals.
有的人呢，他们就是像抽烟一样抽化学品。
They will smell from the alcohol. They will sniff alcohol, the vapors coming off of alcohol, and become intoxicated.
他们就闻这个酒精的味道，闻酒精里面挥发出来的味道，然后变得陶醉于其中。
So of course, when people are intoxicated, they cannot keep any good qualities, cannot have any good behavior.
当然，当人处愚昧形态之中的时候呢，他们不可能有任何的好品质，也不可能有良好的举止。
And they're destined to enter into the lower species of life.
而且他们注定要进入低等种族的生命形式之中。
So Lord Chaitanya comes to deliver all the fallen souls.
主柴贪耶到来拯救所有堕落的灵魂。
And the example is how Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they delivered the most fallen persons like Jaghai and Madhai.
而这个例子就是主柴贪耶、主尼天难的他们如何拯救了最堕落的两个人加盖和马太。
That they were drunkards.
他们是酒鬼。
They were thieves, and they were violent to people, and they did so many sinful things.
他们是贼，他们对人们很暴力，他们做了许多罪恶的活动。
Said there was no sin they had not performed.
据说没有他们没犯过的罪。
If there was a young chaste girl helping her old father, they would simply come along and beat the old father.
如果有一个年轻的贞洁的女孩跟她的父亲一起走，他们就会跑过来去打这个父亲。
And then they would rape the young girl.
然后再强奸这个年轻的姑娘。
So they were very, very sinful.
他们非常非常的罪恶。
But Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya brought them to Krishna consciousness.
但主尼天难的主柴贪耶把他们带入了 Krishna 知觉。
And brought them out of the mode of ignorance.
把他们带出了愚昧形态。
So this was an act of great mercy on such fallen souls.
这是对这种这样的堕落的灵魂的巨大仁慈的展示。
And the same way Srila Prabhupada brought the Krishna consciousness movement out of India into the other countries.
同样的， Srila Prabhupada 也把 Krishna 知觉带出了印度，带到了其他的国家，
Giving all of us a chance to get out of the mode of ignorance.
给我们所有的人一个机会摆脱愚昧形态。
Of course, we have to be very careful that we do not again fall back into the mode of ignorance.
当然，我们都要非常小心，不要再次堕入愚昧形态之中。
We have the chance to engage in devotional service, but at every moment there's also a chance that Maya is there waiting to attract us again.
我们有机会从事奉献服务，但同时呢，也有机会玛雅会再次的把我们陷进去。
That we can be attracted again to take up these activities which are symptoms of the mode of ignorance.
我们可以受到这种诱惑，再次的去从事以这个愚昧形态的特征为代表那些活动。
So we should know what are the symptoms, what is the nature of, what are the activities of one in a mode of ignorance.
因此，我们要了解到底一个在愚昧形态之中的人，他有什么样的本性，有什么样的特征。
Prabhupada explains also here about the importance of not sleeping too much.
Prabhupada 在这里解释了不睡觉太多的重要性。
He said we should sleep. He recommends 6 hours.
他推荐我们睡6个小时。
Some people may sleep a little more.
有的人可能睡多一点。
Prabhupada himself used to sleep only 2 hours.
Prabhupada 本人他经常就只睡2个小时。
And he would use all his time for writing books and preaching.
他会用他所有的时间来写书传教。
So Prabhupada warned us. He said, sleeping is like death.
所以 Prabhupada 警告我们说，睡眠就像死亡。
Because when you sleep, you go into an unconscious state.
因为你在睡觉的时候，你进入到一种没有知觉的情况。
It means we forget about Krishna.
这就意味着忘记了 Krishna。
And forgetting Krishna means we're in the lap of Maya.
忘记 Krishna 就意味着处在 Maya 的大腿上。
And we cannot be sure what is our destination.
而且我们不能够确定我们的目的地到底是什么。
When we leave the body, it is hoped that we can leave the body in full consciousness, not in unconsciousness.
当我们离开躯体的时候，我们希望能够是有知觉的情况下离开的，而不是说在没有知觉的情况下离开。
Because in full consciousness, at least we can be hearing the holy name, we can be remembering Krishna.
因为在有知觉的情况下，至少我们能够聆听圣名，我们能够知道 Krishna。
So we're hearing about the symptoms of a person in the mode of ignorance.
所以我们听说了一个在愚昧形态之中的人的特征。
And Srila Prabhupada is warning us that the symptoms of one in the mode of ignorance is that they're very lazy.
其实帕帕就是警告我们说，一个在愚昧形态之中的人，他们的一个征兆之一就非常的懒惰。
That they will always say that they have no time
他们
to
总说
take up any come and associate with devotees.
他们没有时间跟奉献者一起联谊。
Usually, of course, when we ask people to chant, they will say, "I have no time."
一般来说，我们让人们唱诵的时候，他们会说我们没时间。
But when we ask them, okay, every day there are 24 hours, what do you do with your 24 hours?
那我们问他，一天你有24个小时，你用这一天24个小时都做些什么？
And they will say, well, maybe I'm working 8 hours and 1 hour to go to work, 1 hour to come home. There's
他们说我8个小时工作，然后需要1个小时，在路上回来的时候需要1个小时，这就是10个小时。
Then I have to sleep 6 or 7 hours.
然后我需要睡觉6、7个小时。
But people will always say, no, I don't have time. I read the books. I have no time to chant.
没有读书，我也没有时间唱诵，
I'll be Krishna conscious.
没有时间成为具有 Krishna 知觉的。
But we will spend so much time to be.
我们花了这么多的时间在 Maya 之中。
Prabhupada explains that it's easy to be in Krishna consciousness. It does not even cost a lot of money.
帕帕说呢，其实，在 Krishna 知觉之中是很容易的一件事情，都用不着花多少钱。
But to be in Maya, people will spend a lot of money and a lot of time.
但是如果处于 Maya 之中，人们就要花很多的钱，花很多的时间。
They have to spend so much to buy beer and alcohol,
他们要花很多的钱买啤酒和酒精，
smoking cigarettes, very costly.
吸烟也是很费钱的。
to go and eat meat, to go to all the meat restaurants, also very expensive.
去吃肉，去各这样的就是做肉的饭馆，那也是很昂贵的。
Gambling, all of these things, they're very costly.
赌博，所有的这些事情都是非常花钱的。
The people will spend so much money, they'll spend so much time for the mode of ignorance.
人们花这么多的钱，而且花这么多的时间在愚昧形态上。
But with just a little effort, they can be in the mode of goodness.
但其实只要做出一点努力，他们就可以处于善良形态
And
之
it
中。
does not even have to cost them any money.
而且这个根本用不着他们花什么钱。
You just simply have to take your bead bag and take your beads and start to chant Hare Krishna.
只要拿着你的念珠袋，拿着你的念珠，唱诵 Hare Krishna 就
Or you
行
get
了。
a Bhagavad Gita and you can read it for the rest of your life.
或者是弄一本国家放歌，你可以这一辈子剩下来的时间都读它。
You can spend so much money buying newspapers and watching television and satellite TV.
你可以花很多的钱买报纸、看电视、看卫星的电视。
You will never understand the goal of life.
你永远也不会了解生命的目标是什
But
么。
if we read the Bhagavad Gita, if we read a little Srimad Bhagavatam, these books, these can last us our whole life.
但如果你花一点时间读一读国家放歌、读圣典国家瓦坛，这些事情可以持续一生之久，
And they can save us from the greatest danger.
而且可以使我们免于最大的危险。
Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse, Neha bikramana shosti pratyavayo navidyate swapamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Krishna was telling Arjuna about devotional service.
可是呢，在国家放歌中说了这样一个诗节，向尔朱呢讲解奉献服务。
And Krishna tells Arjuna, if you just make a little advancement on this path, it can save you from the greatest danger.
可是呢说，你在这条道路上，哪怕前进少许，也可以使你拯救你免于最危险的恐惧。
What is the greatest danger?
那么最大的危险是什么？
The greatest danger is that we have the human body now and we don't use it to be conscious and we become an animal or a tree in our next life.
最大的危险就是我们现在有这个人体生命，我们不用它去做亏损知觉的事情，下一世我们就可以投生为动物或者是树木。
So this is the greatest danger. We have to be very aware of what the problem is in life.
这就是最大的危险，我们应该觉察到生命中的问题是什么。
That we are forgetting what is the duty of this human form of life.
我们在忘记这个人体生命形式到底是为了什么，这职责是什么。
That now we have the human body is meant to inquire.
现在我们有这个人类躯体，这人类的躯体就是为了去询问。
The animals, they cannot ask questions.
动物们，他们甚至不能够问问题，
They may ask where is their food,
他们可能会问他们的食物在哪儿，
but they will not ask why am I suffering.
但他们不能够问为什么我受苦，
They will not ask where do I come from.
他们也不问我是从哪儿来的，
They will not ask where do we go when we leave this body.
他们也不问当我离开这个躯体的时候我去哪儿。
In America, they have one place where they keep monkeys, and they're training these monkeys to speak.
在美国有一个地方，他们就是训练猴子，让猴子们说话。
They're trying to get the monkeys to communicate and to have some exchange with humans.
他们就想训练这个猴子进行交流，就像人一样的有所沟通。
So there was an article came in the newspapers,
然后在报纸上登了一篇文章，
and it was telling about what happened. One of the monkeys died.
那就解释，就是说明到底最后发生什么样的事情。结果就是其中有一只猴子死了。
So the person who was taking care of the monkeys, he was trying to talk to the monkeys and get them to exchange with them what happened to the monkey who died.
也就是这个养猴子人，他试图跟猴子说话，跟猴子有交流，有这种沟通。结果呢，是这个猴子死了。
So he was asking the monkeys, what happened to your friend? Where did he go?
他就问这些猴子们，你们的这个死的那个猴子说他怎么了？你的朋友怎么了？
So
他
the
去了哪儿？
so the monkeys went. They were pointing to the ground.
然后其他的猴子就指，
they were indicating that he's gone back to the ground. He's either been buried or he's gone into some lower existence.
所以他们就在指明他是又回到土里去，或者被埋，或者被烧了，或者是到更低的存在之中去了。
So ordinary animals have no intelligence to understand about the soul.
所以普通的动物它们没有智性来了解灵魂。
They simply think that the body is a person.
他们只是认为躯体是一个人。
And when the body dies, well, that the person is the body. The body is put in the ground. Is buried.
当躯体死亡的时候呢，这个人死了，躯体就进入土里被埋起来。
But if we read the Bhagavad Gita, if we understand the spiritual knowledge, we know that with the end of life, with the death of the body, the soul leaves the body and will take birth again.
但我们如果阅读博家放歌，我们就能够有真正的知识，知道在死亡的时候呢，灵魂离开躯体，然后再次投生。
So the whole business of Krishna is preparing ourselves for that vital, that crucial moment when we have to leave this body.
因此 Krishna 知觉的目的就是为了关键的一刻做准备，就是我们在要离开躯体的那一刻。
Just like students study at college and they have to take a final exam.
就像在大学里学习的学生们，他们要有这个最终的一个期中考试。
Or maybe you're learning to drive a car and you have to take a driving test.
或者你学习怎么开车，你要过一个开车的考试。
So you have to take a final test.
因此你们要有一个期中考试。
And the same way in the human form of life, we have to take a final test at the end of life when we leave this body.
同样道理，在这个人类的躯体里呢，当我们离开这个死亡就离开躯体的时候，也要经历一个期中考试。
And we have to prepare ourselves for that moment that we can give up this body without attachment.
我们应该为那一刻的到来做好准备，这样到时候就可以没有依附的离开这个躯体。
This is the whole subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam.
整部圣典博伽瓦坛的主题。
Parikshit had been cursed to die in 7 days.
Maharaj Parikshit 受到诅咒，要在7天之内死去。
He had made a very small mistake, offending a great Brahmana.
他只犯了一个小小的错误，冒犯了一位伟大的 Brahmana.
Maharaj Parikshit is a great king, and he was walking through the jungle, and he became by thirst. He was very eager to have something to drink.
Maharaj Parikshit 他在森林里边走路，他突然呢就是感到非常的口渴，需要一些东西来喝。
So he came to the ashram of a great sage.
他来到一位伟大的圣哲的 ashram.
Ashram is a place where where the sage lives in the forest.
Ashram 就指的是一位圣哲在森林里住的地方。
So the sage was sitting in meditation.
这位圣哲坐在那儿在冥想之中。
So Maharaj Parikshit was thinking somehow by the arrangement of Krishna, he was affected by the material energy.
由于这个 Krishna 的安排，所以呢 Parikshit Maharaj 他就受到物质能量的影响。
And he thought that I'm a king and he's not respecting me.
他想我是一个国王，可是他却不尊敬我。
That he's sitting there in meditation, he should get up and receive me.
他坐在那里冥想，他应该站起来迎接我。
So he took a dead snake and he put it.
他就捡起一条死蛇放在这位圣哲的脖子上。
So this act was witnessed by the sage's young son.
这个行动呢就被这个圣哲的年轻的儿子看到了。
The sage's son was only 15 years old, a young Brahmana boy.
这个年轻的儿子只有15岁大，是一个年轻的 Brahmana 男孩。
And he was playing with his friends, and he had witnessed this activity of the king.
他和他的朋友正在一起玩，他就是见证了国王的举动。
So he wanted to show his powerfulness as a Brahmana to his friends.
他想向他的朋友显示他作为一个 Brahmana 的力量。
And he said, just look at this king, that they are supposed to be the servants of us Brahmanas.
他就说看看这个国王吧，他们应该是我们 Brahmana 们的仆人。
And he is simply committing offenses.
而他只是在做冒犯。
So he said, I curse that he should be bitten by a snake and die in 7 days.
所以他说我诅咒他会遭到蛇咬，并在7天之内死去。
So when Maharaj Parikshit left, and he got news of what had happened.
当 Parikshit Maharaj 离开的时候呢，他就得到消息，知道发生了什么。
So he did not try to remove the.
他并不去掉这个诅。
He was a great devotee, and he could have removed the curse if he wanted.
他是伟大的奉献者，如果他想抵消这个诅咒的话，他可以。
But he accepted this curse as an arrangement of the Supreme Lord.
但他接受这个诅咒为至尊主的安排。
And he prepared himself for death.
他让自己做准备，去为死亡做准备。
So how did he prepare himself?
那他是怎么给自己做准备的呢？
He went to find some saintly persons who could properly guide him.
他去找一位非常圣洁的灵性的人物来恰当的指导他。
So if some ordinary person is told that they only have 7 days left to live, what will they do?
如果一个普通人，他们被告知只有7天的时间可活了，他们会做什么？
They'll try and perform as many sinful activities as they can before they leave the body.
他们会在离开躯体之前，尽可能的做更多的罪恶活动。
They'll think how I can gratify. Let me try and satisfy my senses as much as I can.
他就会想呢，我如何的以最大限度的去满足我的感官。
But Maharaj Parikshit, he did not think like that.
但 Maharaj Parikshit 并不是那么想的。
He took off all his royal clothes.
他脱掉他所有的皇室的
He
衣服，
put on simple dress.
穿上简朴的服
He
装。
put his son in charge of on the throne, in charge of his kingdom.
他让他的儿子立他的儿子为国王，然后管理这个国度。
And he came to find a devotee of Krishna who could guide him,
他去找一个 Krishna 的奉献者，一个能够指导他的人，
who could speak the glories of Krishna to him for the remaining days of his life.
一个能够在他的生命中余下来的几天之内给他讲 Krishna 的人。
So he even gave up eating and sleeping for 7 days
他甚至在7天之内都放弃了吃和睡，
because he thought that time is so valuable. I only have 7 days left. I cannot waste one moment.
因为他认为现在只有7天的时间了，我们没有多少时间，所以一刻都不能够浪费。
So this is how we should understand, how we should make use of our time. We should see time to be such a valuable thing.
这是我们应该如何的利用时间，我们应该认为时间是非常宝贵的。
Of course, in Chinese culture, you also have a similar understanding about the value of time.
当然了，在中国的这个文化之中呢，你们也有同样的。
Life is so boring. They have nothing to do.
他们仅仅抱怨生活是这么的没劲，他们什么都没什么可做的。
They say, how can I enjoy life without money?
他们在想如何没有钱还能享受生活。
They cannot understand how to properly use their time.
他们不能够理解如何的恰当利用自己的时间。
That it does not cost anything to sit and chant Hare Krishna.
坐下来唱诵 Hare Krishna 并不需要花任何的钱，
And by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, you're making the best use of time.
而且通过唱诵 Hare Krishna mantra， 你就最好的利用了时间。
If we use our time in the service of Krishna, then time cannot, our duration of life is not reduced.
如果你用这个时间去服务 Krishna 的话呢，那你的生命并没有被缩短。
It is, for other people, as the sun rises and sets, their duration of life is reduced.
但对于其他的人而言呢，每次日出日落的时候，他们的生命的这个时间就便被缩短了。
Every day the sun rises and sets, and that's another day less in their life.
每一天太阳升起来，太阳落山了，那也就是说，在他们生命之中又少了一天。
Another day nearer death.
另外一项死亡又走近了一天。
But if we use our time in the service of Krishna every day, from the whole day just serving Krishna, the duration of life is not reduced.
但如果我们能够每一天都把我们的时间用于服务 Krishna 的话，那我们生命的这个周期就没有被缩短。
It said if you're having kirtan, and if you have a kirtan, then it said even Yamaraj will also come and take part in the kirtan.
据说当你举行 Kirtan 的时候呢，即便连 Yamaraj 都会来参加你的 Kirtan。
Do you know who Yamaraj is?
阎罗王 ，Yamaraj 就是阎罗王。
So he will come and join in the kirtan because he is also a devotee.
他会来加入 Kirtan， 因为他也是一个奉献者。
So if he's always in the kirtan, he has no time to take people away to his kingdom of death.
所以如果他要是忙着参加 kirtan， 他就没时间把人们带到他的死亡的国度了。
So this is a good way to avoid having to go to Yamaraj's kingdom.
因此这是一个很好的避免去 Yamaraj 国度的办法。
But in general, everybody has to go to the kingdom of Yamaraj.
但一般来说呢，每一个人他都要去 Yamaraj 的国度。
A person from the heavenly planets, he was quizzing, putting questions to Maharaj Yudhisthira, and he asked him, what is the most wonderful thing in the world?
在 Mahabharata 之中呢，有一个故事讲的是 Maharaj Yudhisthira， 他和一个甘达尔瓦在对话。那甘达尔瓦就从天堂星球来的人，在问他问题，给他提问。其中有一个问题就是说，在这个世界上最奇妙的事情是什么？
Maharaj Yudhisthira said the most wonderful thing is that no one thinks they're going to die.
Maharaj Yudhisthira 说，最奇妙的事情就是没有人认为他们要死了。
But although everyone has to die, nobody's thinking that I will have to die.
尽管每一个人都要死，但是没有一个人他会想着我要死了。
So this is the most wonderful thing in the world.
因此，这就是这个世界上最美妙的、最奇妙的事情。
Of course, we talk about the wonders of the world.
当然，我们也就是提到了世界上的这些奇迹。
The pyramids in Egypt.
对，埃及的金字塔。
Or the Taj Mahal.
或者是泰姬陵。
The temple in what is it? Angkor Wat.
吴哥窟的庙。
These are wonders of the world.
这些都是世界奇迹。
But they are made by man.
但他们都是人做的。
The most wonderful thing of the world is the nature of this material world.
而最让人惊奇的事情就是这个物质世界上创造出来的。
That everyone has to leave this body, but not everyone is thinking they will stay here forever.
每一个人都要死了，可是呢，每一个人都以为自己会永恒的活着。
Because we think we're going to stay here forever, therefore we've built all these big skyscraper buildings in Beijing.
我们以为自己会永远的活着，所以这是为什么我们在北京建起这么多的摩天大楼。
We built so many big roads fast to drive the cars.
我们建了这么多的道路，开起车来很快。
If we knew we were going to leave this world very soon, we would not take so much trouble.
那么 everyone will go to leave this world.
If we know that we're going to have to leave this world very soon, we will not take so much trouble to build all these big things.
但如果我们能够知道自己很快就会离开这个世界的话，都是要死的，那就不会费这么多的麻烦，建这么多的大的建筑物了。
Just like if you come to a place, you know you're only going to stay for 1 or 2 days, you will not take much trouble.
就像你去一个地方，你知道你只是住1-2天的时间，你就不会太麻烦。
But because we think we're going to stay here forever, we're making so many arrangements.
但是正是因为我们以为我们会永恒的住在这儿，所以我们做很多的安排。
So this is a mode of ignorance.
这就是愚昧形态。
We're thinking that we're going to stay here in this world forever.
我们以为我们会在这个世界上永恒的住下去。
We're not making any preparation for leaving this world.
我们对这个离开这个世界并不做任何的准备。
Prabhupada taught us by his own example.
Prabhupada 以身作则。
That he showed us that we should concentrate our energies fully in the spiritual and trying to cultivate our spiritual aspect of life.
他教导我们应该把全部的精力都放在培养我们的灵性生活上。
Of course, that comes at the end of life.
当然了，这是在生命的末尾才会到来的事情。
Young people in the early stages of their life, they have to balance the material and the spiritual.
对年轻人来说，在他们生命的早期，他们必须要在灵性和物质之间做出平衡。
Just like the car, the train runs on 2 tracks.
就像是这个火车，它是在2条轨道上行进。
So they have to keep the material and the spiritual, that part of life, balanced.
因此，他们要使这个生活中的物质的部分和灵性的部分要保持平衡。
But then once you retire, once you stop your work, you get to by the age of 50, then you finish all these material things.
但一旦你退休的时候，你到了50岁的时候，那你就对所有的物质的事情都应该完结。
50 is the end of life.
50岁是生命的终结。
The Vedas say from the age of 50, you have to prepare to go to the forest.
伟大经典里说，从50岁开始，你应该准备去森林里边。
Because by the age of 50, you're already old. At least half of the life is over.
因为到了50岁的时候，你已经老了，至少生命的一半已经没有了。
And you have to begin to prepare for the next life.
你要开始为下一世做准备。
And then that means you stop all the material activity.
然后呢，那你就应该停止所有的物质活动。
You get rid of your TV.
去掉你的电视。
You stop buying newspapers.
停止买报纸。
You don't play any mahjong. Mahjong.
麻将啊，不再打麻将。
You don't do any of these things.
不做任何这类的事情。
You just focus fully on the spiritual path.
只是完全专注在灵性的道路上。
Chanting Hare Krishna and reading scriptures.
唱诵 Hare Krishna， 阅读经典。
Understanding more and more the nature of Krishna.
越来越多的了解 Krishna 的本性。
And becoming more attached to these activities.
然后变得更依附于这些活动。
That in the beginning these activities may be troublesome.
在一开始的时候呢，这些活动可能是很麻烦。
But if we continue, if we keep endeavoring and trying to chant and trying to read these books, then gradually we will get some appreciation and begin to taste the nectar.
但如果我们继续，我们努力的去做的话呢，我们终于就可以品味到一些甘露，能够有一些这个品味。
Of course, many people tell me they try to read the books, and every time they try to read the book, they fall asleep.
当然，很多人都告诉我说，他们努力读书了，但他们一读书，他们就睡着了。
But isn't there a story about some Chinese man? He was falling asleep. He tied his hair up so that he kept his head up, that he didn't fall asleep.
马尔提到不是有一个中国古代的故事，有一个人他把他的头发吊起来，就头悬梁的那个故事，一睡觉头一低，头发就被揪起来，这样头一直是直着的。
He was so determined that he wasn't going to sleep.
他这么有决心的不让自己睡觉。
So we're also determined. We're going to read this book. We're going to chant and not fall asleep.
我们也很有决心，我们要读书，我们要唱诵，我们不要睡着了。
Yeah, we have to keep out of the mode of ignorance.
我们要摆脱这愚昧的形态。
As the winter comes, you can open the window and let some nice cold air come in.
冬天来了，然后你可以打开窗户，让一些很好的、很凉的风进来。
So that you won't, keep the nice fresh air will keep you awake.
因为这个新鲜的空气可以让你保持清醒。
But if you have all the windows closed and you have your nice heating, you can be very comfortable and go to sleep all winter.
如果你的这个窗户全都是关着的，又有这么好的暖气，暖暖和和、舒舒服服的，那你可能整个冬天你都昏昏睡睡的。
But that's the business of the animals, sleeping all winter.
但这是动物的工作，整个冬天都睡觉。
Devotees, we can't be sleeping all winter.
奉献者不能整个冬天都睡觉。
We have to use our time fully in the service of Krishna.
我们应该把我们的时间完全用在对 Krishna 的服务
We have
上。
already wasted so many lives and so many years not serving Krishna.
我们已经浪费了很多生世，浪费了很多的年不去服务 Krishna。
So we cannot afford to waste even a moment.
所以我们不能付得起这个时间再去浪费了。
We must be very enthusiastic and eager to focus all our energy, all our attention on trying to do some chanting, trying to develop some taste for the holy name.
我们必须非常有热情，非常迫切的去努力的去读书，去努力的唱诵 Krishna 的圣名，培养出我们的品味来。
Study these books more and more, read them again and again.
学习这些书，努力的学习这些书，一遍一遍的读它们。
We're very grateful. Some devotee has now translated also this Shangwo Chenfu.
那么我们非常感激有奉献者把这向我臣服翻译出来了。
It will be very helpful for devotees to understand Bhagavad Gita.
这对奉献者而言，有助于我们理解不加放歌。
I hope someone will also translate Waves of Devotion.
我希望也有人能够翻译奉爱的浪潮。
It will help us devotees to understand the nectar of devotion.
这就会帮助奉献者，帮助我们去理解奉爱的甘露。
And more, it will help the devotees to appreciate these books which Prabhupada has given us.
这样就会越来越多的奉献者欣赏 Prabhupada 给我们的这些书。
Prabhupada worked so hard to write these books just for his devotees.
Prabhupada 这么的努力，写了这么多的，只是为他的奉献者，就写了这么多的书。
Not just for us to sell.
并不是说就光让我们去卖的。
Not just to maintain our life.
不是只是维系我们的生活。
But that we're supposed to read them and study them.
我们应该是读它们，也要学习它们。
We should not be memorizing so many sentences and so many slokas.
我们应该努力的背下许多的这个句子，许多的这个诗节。
Now some of Chinese devotees have also memorized the first and second, the invocation and the first mantra of Ishopanishad.
现在也有很多的奉献者已经记下了这个至尊奥义书的祈祷和第一个曼陀罗。
So gradually, some Chinese devotees are becoming more serious to study these things.
所以逐渐的，这个中国的奉献者呢，就会更认真的学习对待这个学习。
At first, the devotees would say, "Oh, it's impossible, too difficult."
一开始奉献者们都说，哦，太难了，根本不可能。
But Prabhupada said, "Impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary."
但 Prabhupada 说呢，不可能是傻瓜字典里的一个词。
So, for a devotee, nothing is impossible.
所以对一个奉献者而言，没有什么不可能的事情。
The devotee is obliged to take up the spirit of service to the spiritual master.
奉献者受到祝福，要去做这个对灵性导师的服务。
To dedicate the life to the order of the guru.
把他们的生命献给 guru 的这个训令。
And to understand the desire of the spiritual master.
要理解灵性导师的愿望。
Srila Prabhupada's desire was to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya everywhere.
释罗帕帕的愿望就是把主柴丹涅的使命传播到所有的地方。
So we cannot just simply sit back and just go to sleep.
所以我们不能往后一靠就睡大觉。
And think, well, I chanted Hare Krishna once.
想着我曾经有一次唱诵过 Hare Krishna.
I've eaten prasadam.
我吃了 prasadam.
I'm saved.
我现在得到拯救了。
No, we have to work hard and try to not just only save ourselves, but we have to also try to give mercy to others.
不，我们不是要仅仅的去救我们自己，还要把仁慈去给别的人。
So, Prabhupada wrote one essay, "Who is crazy?"
Prabhupada 写了一篇短文，谁疯了？
We were talking about how there's so many crazy people in the world.
我们在谈论过，在这个世界上有这么多的疯子。
And people often used to say we were crazy.
人们经常说我们疯了。
Because we used to go in the streets of America and Europe, we would go with our shaved heads.
因为我们会剃了头，然后去美国、欧洲的街道上。
And we would be wearing our robes.
我们穿着袍子。
And singing and dancing in the street.
在大街上又唱又跳。
And everybody else was working like an ass.
其他的人呢，全都是像驴一样的工作。
All working, trying to make money.
全都努力工作，为了挣钱。
All wanting to become rich and enjoy their sinful activities.
都想变得有钱，然后享受他们的罪恶活动。
So people used to say we must be crazy.
所以人们一定说我们肯定是疯了。
But Prabhupada wrote his essay saying, "Who is crazy?"
但 Prabhupada 写了他的短文说谁疯了。
And Prabhupada argued that these materialistic people, they are really crazy.
Prabhupada 反驳说，这些物质主义的人，他们才真疯了呢。
Because look how they live. Just look at the life of the ordinary materialist.
但是只要看看他们是怎么生活的，看看一个普通的物质主义者的生活。
What is their happiness?
他们有什么快乐？
They will work very, very hard in horrible conditions to make a little money.
他们在非常非常可怕的环境之中，特别努力的工作，就赚一点点钱。
And then what will be their enjoyment?
而他们的享乐在哪儿？
They will go to McDonald's.
他们去麦当劳
Drink Coca-Cola.
喝可口可乐
Burn their intestines.
燃烧他们的内脏。
Because Coca-Cola is just some acid which is just, if you put even metal in some Coca-Cola, the metal will become shiny.
因为可口可乐就是一些酸，如果你要是把金属放进可口可乐里，它也会马上变得很光灿灿、闪闪发亮。
So people drink these horrible things.
人们喝这些可怕的东西，
The whiskey.
威士忌。
I see everywhere in China now they have these 酒吧.
我看到在中国现在到处都有酒吧，
And people want to every night they want to go and drink.
每个人们晚上呢都出去喝酒，
And they're thinking this is enjoyment.
他们在想这就是享乐，
And this is the enjoyment of what kind of the lowest class.
这是最低等的人的享乐，
This is their ticket to hell.
这是他们去地狱的票，
Because when they go in the bar, they go into hell.
因为他们去酒吧的时候，他们就在去地狱。
What is somebody was telling me, he'd gone to a bar, he said they play the music very, very loud.
有人去了酒吧，他们说在那里边，他们把音乐放的声音特别大，
Everybody's smoking cigarettes.
每个人都在抽烟，
Place is full of cigarette smoke.
这个地方全充满的是烟雾，
And people are all drunk and in a crazy mood.
人们都喝醉了，都处在一种疯狂的情态中，
So this is just like hell.
这就像是地狱一样。
And when they die, they go to a place like that.
而他们死的时候，他们就去一个像这样的地方，
So they don't even have to wait till they die to go to hell.
所以他们都用不着等到死了再去地狱。
And they can go to hell. You can go to hell anytime you want. Just walk in one of these bars.
你什么时候想去地狱，你都可以去，只要你走进这个一个酒吧就行了。
Or walk into McDonald's. That's another hell.
或者是说，你就走进麦当劳，那是另外的一个地狱。
And they will serve food, but it is not real food. It is all processed chemicals.
那么他们就是给你上一些食物，但其实那根本就不是食物，那只是经过处理的化学物质。
They have all their frozen chemicals mixed together, and they put it in a fancy packet.
他们把各种经过冷冻的化学物组合在一起，然后呢，用了很花哨的包装给你包起来。
And they put a nice sign on the front of the shop and paint it in bright colors.
他们在这个店前呢做一个很大的这个标牌，用非常好看明亮的颜色就粉刷这个牌子。
And people think this is a very nice place.
人们就认为这是一个非常好的地方，
And they'll spend a lot of money to go and eat their horrible food.
他们就会到那儿去花很多的钱去吃那可怕的食品，
But it is all garbage.
但全都是垃圾。
But it is not proper food. You don't get any nourishment. You don't get any good health from any of their food.
这个不是恰当的食品，从他们的这个食品当中，你得不到恰当的滋养，你得不到什么力量。
Now, people have no knowledge of what is real life anymore.
人们没有知识，根本不知道什么是真正的生活。
But Bhagavad Gita is teaching us about these things, helping us to understand.
但巴格吉的博家梵歌在教导我们这些事情，帮助我们理解。
According to how we associate with the material energy, we get different results.
按照我们跟物质自然形态不同的接触，我们会得到不同的结果。
If we associate with this mode of ignorance, we go into deeper, darker ignorance.
如果我们跟这个愚昧形态接触的话，我们就会深入到更深的愚昧之中。
We take an animal birth, or we enter into the hellish planets.
我们投身为动物，或者是进入地狱星球。
The mode of passion brings us back into the human form of life on this planet.
激情形态会让我们再次得到人类的形体，再次投生在这个星球。
And the mode of goodness can elevate us up to higher planets.
而善良形态可以帮助我们提升到更高的星球。
But all of these are places of misery.
但所有的这些地方都是痛苦的
None
地
of
方，
these places solve the problems of life.
没有一个地方能够解决生活的问题。
We have to become a surrendered devotee of Krishna and get out from this material world.
我们应该成为 Krishna 的臣服的仆人，摆脱出这个物质世界。
So Krishna is explaining to all of this to Arjuna.
Krishna 向Arjuna解释了所有这一切，
He wants us to understand.
他想我们明白，
Let us not be fooled by this material world.
让我们不要被这个物质世界所愚弄。
That it may look very attractive,
它看起来可能很吸引人，
but it is a temporary place of misery.
但这只是一个短暂的痛苦的地方。
Just like now in China, we're seeing so many people have got a car now, they're driving their cars.
就像现在在中国，我们看到很多的人都有车了，他们都开着自己的车。
Before, there used to be so many people on a bicycle.
以前呢，你们有很多人都是骑自行车，
but now so many people are driving their cars.
那现在的很多人都是开车，
Does it mean people are happier now?
这意味着人们现在更快乐了吗？
Because everybody has got their own handphone now, does it mean everybody is happy?
现在每个人都差不多有手机了，这就意味着每个人都快乐了吗？
Has life become so much better just by these things?
只是因为有这些东西的存在，生活就变得好多了吗？
The miseries of life are still there.
生命的痛苦仍然存在，
We do not solve the miseries of life by some material arrangement.
我们不能通过一些物质的安排解决生命的痛苦。
But if we take shelter of Krishna, if we do devotional service, this can help us to end the miseries of life.
但如果我们能够脱避于 Krishna， 能够为 Krishna 做一些奉献服务，我们就可以终结这些物质的痛苦。
Just a little service, even you just take prasadam.
只是一点点服务，即便你只荣耀一点点菩萨的。
In Srimad Bhagavatam we have the example, Narada Muni, how he was a son, his mother was a maid and she was serving some saintly persons.
在圣典国家瓦坛里，纳尔的穆尼的母亲呢，她只是一个女仆，但是她服务一些圣哲。
And he got the opportunity to help his mother to serve these persons.
纳尔的穆尼他也得到机会帮助他的母亲去服务这些人。
And he took their remnants with his permission. With their permission, he was able to take their remnants.
那么在这些圣人的允许之下，他可以吃他们的鲫鱼。
And just by that, he got so much purification. He became a great devotee.
只是通过这个，他就得到了这么多的净化，他成为一位伟大的奉献者。
So we also have to take the opportunity to try to get take every opportunity to get out of this material entanglement.
我们也要抓住每一个机会，摆脱这种物质的纠缠。
So Lord Chaitanya has come to deliver, to give us all this chance.
主柴贪的到来就是为了拯救我们，给我们这些机会。
Just the most powerful thing we can do, the most effective thing is chanting the holy name of Krishna.
最有力量、最快的这个办法就是唱诵 Krishna 的名字，
Joining in the kirtan.
加入 Kirtan。
And in this way we can transcend all the problems, all the miseries of life.
这样我们就可以超越生活中的所有的问题、所有的痛苦。
Are there any questions?
有什么问题吗？
Kashadesh，我想问，那个动物是不是所有的动物都处于愚昧形态？
Yes, actually all the animals are in the mode of ignorance.
是的，其实所有的动物都处在愚昧形态。
Of course, we usually think of a cow as being more in the mode of goodness.
当然，我们一般认为母牛更是处在善良形态之中。
I mean, compared to other animals, it's in the mode of goodness.
跟其他的动物相比，它们处于善良形态。
But still, it's an animal. It's a stupid animal.
但仍然还是动物，是一头傻动物。
One who thinks, there's a verse in the scriptures, Yashyatma buddhi guna petrita gute, that one who thinks his body is a bag made of material elements, then he's no better than a cow or an ass.
有一个师节就提到说，如果他认为他的躯体只是由这个物质元素组成的一个像口袋一样，那么他就比母牛和驴子强不了多少。
So the cow cannot understand anything about the soul.
母牛根本就不了解与灵魂有关的
The
任何
cow's
事物。
business is eating and sleeping.
母牛的主要工作就是吃和睡。
Of course, we say the cow is a symbol of the mode of goodness. He's usually friendly, gentle creature.
当然，我们说母牛可以说是一个善良形态的一个代表，因为它一般都很友好、很善良。
But still, it's an animal. It's in the mode of ignorance.
但仍然它是动物，所以还是在愚昧形态之中。
So you don't find anything which is 100% in the mode of goodness. There's a combination of the modes.
你找不到任何的东西处在这个完全100%处在善良形态之中，是各种不同形态的一个组合。
Yeah, Haribo.
孩子也处在愚昧形态中吗？
Yeah, Haisa also.
孩子也是愚昧形态之中。
The animals and the children, they don't get karma.
动物和小孩他们不得到 karma，
They're not considered responsible for their activities.
他们对他们的活动不用负责任。
Even children may do some crime or something, they're so young, they can't be held responsible for their crime.
这个小孩有时候他犯罪，但仍然他不为他自己犯的罪负责任。
So children and animals, they don't get karma, but in general, they don't have that proper understanding. They don't have knowledge, the appreciation of the difference between the body and the soul.
动物和小孩他们不会获得 karma， 因为他们也对这个躯体和灵魂，他们也没有这种欣赏。
We do find some children who are much more appreciative of spiritual things.
但我们也有小孩，他们对这个灵性的事物表现出很欣赏。
They may be born in very pious families.
他们可能出生于非常虔诚的家庭。
They may be very attracted to chanting.
他们可能就非常受到唱诵的吸引。
And they may even, it appears like they're very devotional.
看起来他们非常有奉爱之心。
But because their intelligence is not developed sufficiently, they can't really understand what is the purpose of their activities.
但由于他们的智性还没有完全被发展出来，所以他们不能真正的理解它的这个活动的意义到底是什么。
So usually, young children are not usually initiated in Krishna consciousness.
因此，通常呢，小孩他不在Krishna知觉中不被启迪。
Prabhupada did give some young children special mercy.
Prabhupada 的确给了一些小孩特殊的仁慈。
Just like there's this one boy, Prabhav,
就像有一
Guru
些
Priti's husband.
Guru Priti 的丈夫 Prabhav，
He was initiated when he was young.
他就是年轻特别小的时候启迪的。
He was in the Gurukula.
他在 Gurukula，
But there were boys even younger than him initiated also.
对，也有还比他小的小孩也得到启迪了。
Prabhupada considered it reasonable to give them initiation because they were born in devotee families and they were in the Gurukula.
Prabhupada 觉得给他们启迪是合理的，因为他们是出生在奉献者的家庭，而且他们都在 Gurukula 里。
But in the Bhagavatam, I think there's a statement Prabhupada said initiation, the children should be at least 12 or 14.
在博伽瓦坛里 ，Prabhupada 曾经说过，这小孩启迪小孩的话，至少是12岁或者14岁，
Before initiation.
就是在他们启迪之前，12岁、14岁以前不给他们启迪。
那个在麻耶婆，他们每天都崇拜母牛，说是崇拜母牛不亚于崇拜威士，这是什么？
崇拜母牛，
崇拜母牛 cows。
崇拜Yeah, there's cow puja. We can offer. There's one special day when they do the go puja.
有一天专门是做这个崇拜牛的这个puja，叫 go puja。
Sometimes people come and they give some charity. They want to give charity to the cows.
有的时候人们来了想给母牛布施。
So yeah, we can give that. We can offer some type of respect, worship to the cows.
是我们可以对母牛表示敬意，给他们一些崇拜。
But it's not that the cow is God.
但不是说 not the cow is.
The cow it doesn't mean that we're worshiping the cow as God. It's not that the cow is God.
但不是说我们把这个母牛当成神一样来崇拜。
But the cow is one of 7 mothers.
母牛是7个母亲之一。
That she provides the milk, which is so valuable.
它提供非常宝贵的牛奶。
So it's a system of offering respect to the cow for her valuable service.
这是对母牛对它所提供的宝贵的这个服务表示一种敬意的方式。
It helps to remind us the importance of protecting the cows.
这有助于提醒我们，就是保护母牛有多么重要。
The cow is a value. It's doing a great service. It's an important servant of Vishnu. Krishna also said he is very dear to the cows and the brahmanas.
那么母牛呢，它对这个 Vishnu 做很有价值的服务，而且 Krishna 本人也说，他对母牛和 Brahmana 非常亲切。
So Krishna had so much love for the cows that by giving our love, by showing our love and respect for the cows, it certainly pleases Krishna.
那么，由于 Krishna 对母牛有这么多的爱，所以如果我们向这个母牛也表示爱的话呢， 这也会非常的取悦 Krishna。
Just as Krishna offered so much respect for the brahmanas,
就像是 Krishna 向 Brahmana 表示这么多的敬意，
and the cows are also considered like that, to be, they're given so much respect.
母牛也被认为是那样的，所以它们也被人们置于很大的敬意。
But we cannot say the cow is fully in the mode of goodness.
但我们不能说母牛完全处于善良形态之中，
There is some goodness there, but there is also some ignorance there.
有一些善良形态，但也有愚昧形态。
我再说一声，阿育自追书上的第3曼陀罗中说的，杀害的灵魂的人，无论他是谁，都能进入那个愚昧、黑暗、愚昧的无信仰的是那个星宿。你比如那二主呢，那个杀害人，那是亏死那叫他去，他是很好的。比如我们要打死一个蚊子、苍蝇，也到那个黑暗愚昧的地方嘛。
In the third mantra of Sri Upanishad, it is mentioned that the killers of the soul will fall into the darkest regions, hellish planets. So she mentioned that in Kurukshetra, Arjuna also killed so many souls. And how could he avoid the punishment?
No, Arjuna never killed a soul.
Arjuna 不是杀害灵魂的人。
You have not
这是作战呢。
He's fighting.
But he didn't kill any souls.
但是他并没有杀害任何灵魂。
You have to understand what it means to kill the soul.
你要明白杀害灵魂是什么意思。
You kill the body. Arjuna killed bodies, but he didn't kill any souls.
Arjuna 杀死躯体，但他没有杀死任何灵魂。
The killer of the soul is one who denies the interest, the need, or the duty of the soul.
一个杀害灵魂的人，他是一个否定灵魂的意义所在，灵魂的利益所在的一个人。
Killer of the soul is one who does all types of irreligious activities.
杀害灵魂的人，他们做很多非宗教的活动。
They deny the existence of the soul.
他们否认灵魂的存在。
So they are a killer of the soul.
所以他们才是灵魂的
The
杀害者。
atheist is a killer of the soul.
无神论者是灵魂的杀害者。
哎呀，我以为杀死那苍蝇、蚊子，你们他捞的那个。
So sometimes she kills a fly or a mosquito. She's also killing the soul.
No, you don't kill the cannot. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the soul cannot be killed.
博家放歌里 Krishna 说灵魂不能杀死。
But if you're going to keep killing flies and mosquitoes, that's not very good.
但如果你要是一直打蚊子、打苍蝇，那也不是一件好事。
Devotees not supposed to be so violent.
奉献者不能这么暴力。
因为他落的那个菩萨那是那地方了。
It falls on prasadam.
Why don't you just put some cover over the prasadam?
你为什么不把这 prasadam 盖起来？
盖了。那个，比如那也是杀的他的躯体哈，不是杀的他灵魂。
灵魂不会杀，灵魂是永恒的。But we can deny the need. We can deny the existence of the soul.
但我们可以否认灵魂的存在。
So that is killing the soul.
那是对灵魂的杀害。
我在旁边，就是说，杀蚊子的时候，我跟他对话，你不要来咬我，我也不侵犯你，你也没侵犯我。那蚊子待会又来了，我长令一宿不能睡觉，起来打死他。Hare Krishna， 这样是不是都给他超度了？就是说就没有罪过了。
That is the 7th offense in chanting the holy name.
这是唱诵圣名第7项冒犯。
To commit sinful activity on the strength of chanting the holy name.
急着唱诵主圣名的力量行恶。
One time in India, on a farm in India, we had some devotees were staying there, and Prabhupada came to visit, and there was some prasadam left, overnight.
有一次在印度的一个农场，帕帕去拜访那个地方，他们呢有一些隔了夜的菩萨的，
So some rats came.
有一些老鼠来了。
So one devotee said to Prabhupada, maybe I should put some rat poison down there so that the rats won't keep coming.
然后有奉献者就跟帕帕说，也许我应该放这个老鼠药，这样的老鼠就不会再来了。
And he said, is it all right if we kill them like that, Prabhupada?
那他就问帕帕说，我们能不能就这样把他们杀了？
Prabhupada said, you should be killed.
帕帕说，应该把你杀了。
He said, because you're responsible for the rats coming.
他说，因为你对这个老鼠的来这里呢是有责任的。
You left the food lying around. You did not clean up after taking prasadam. You left food sitting around and the rats came.
因为你荣耀完了菩萨他们之后，你就让这个食物还摆在那儿，你没有把它都清理干净，你就让老鼠来。
Why do flies and mosquitoes come?
为什么苍蝇和蚊子来？
Because you leave so much water and things, dirty water sitting around.
因为你流的到处都是脏水，
We don't keep everything clean.
我们不让所有的东西都干净，
And this brings all these things.
这就会招来那些东西。
And we want to kill them.
然后我们想杀了他们。
So this is, you're going in the mode of ignorance by killing these creatures.
通过杀害这些生物呢，你就会进入愚昧形态。
You can put the screen on the window, keep them out.
你可以装纱窗，让他们在外边。
我们不是在农村住了1个多月嘛，那个蚊子、苍蝇老是进来。
She says when she stays in the countryside, there are so many flies and mosquitoes.
You want to kill them all?
你想把他们都杀了吗？
The countryside is a place of goodness and you want to go there and start killing all these creatures.
农村是一个善良形态的地方，你想去那儿，然后就杀所有的这些生物。
You're bringing your mode of passion from the city into the countryside.
你把你城里边的激情带入农村了。
How many flies and mosquitoes you can kill?
你能杀死多少只苍蝇和蚊子？
Just take a mosquito net with you.
你就带着蚊帐去吧。
那个就是说，温带温的母牛和我们中国的母牛是不是不一样？他说那边的母牛那个肚子里各个部分都有半身人在里边，那么我们这个中国的母牛是不是这个有没有半身人在里边？
Well, there is a difference because the cows in the holy place are very special.
是有一个区别，因为在圣地的母牛肯定是特殊的，
They're born in the holy place.
它们出生在圣地，
To take birth in the holy land, that is not an ordinary birth.
在神圣的土地上出生，可不是一个普通的出生，
Because they're going to hear the holy name all the time.
因为他们一直都能够听到圣名，
They're going to be seeing devotees.
他们可以看见奉献者，
They may even be given prasad sometimes.
有的时候他们还能够吃菩萨的，
So they're not ordinary cows.
他们不是普通的母牛。
There are cows in America. I don't know about the cows in China, but there are many cows in America. They just keep them for beef. They don't have any calves. They just feed them chemicals to make them big and fat so they can kill them.
在中国我不知道，在美国他们养很多的牛，他们养牛就是为了得到牛肉，他们也不养小牛犊，他们就是直接就给他们喂很多的化学的东西，让他们赶快长得又大又肥，然后杀了他们。
So these cows are not so, those kind of cows are not so fortunate as cows in Vrindavan.
那些牛就不如稳他们的那些牛那么幸运了。
But you're right, the demigods are there in the cow.
但你是正确的，那个半身人就在母牛的身体里。
But Krishna is everywhere.
但 Krishna 无处不在。
Why don't just worry about the demigods? The Supreme Lord Krishna is in every atom.
你不要担心半身人了，至尊主他在每一个原子之中。
You're trying to see the demigods. You can see Krishna.
你试图再去看半神人，你应该试图去看Krishna。
我再提一个问题，就是波伽瓦坦舞，这是玛哈波伽瓦塔，这降到是就说那个奉献符的第2位，这个我不懂，它是在第5，波伽瓦坦舞的第1章的20几节、27节、28节。
降到什么？
降到第2层面啊，第2位
，secondary platform。什么
第2层面？就是这我都看，今天也没戴眼镜。那个
我看看你写的是什么。
我今天没戴，乱七八糟。
Sometimes Mahabhagavata will come to the second platform of devotional services, so she doesn't understand this.
Oh, okay. I understand. It means that because on the topmost platform, the Mahabhagavata doesn't preach.
因为在最高的层面上，Mahabhagavata 不传教。
最高的。
But for the sake of preaching, he comes down to the secondary platform.
为了传教的缘故呢，他就来到这个第2层面上。
That on the secondary platform, he has to make distinction.
在第2个层面上，他要做出这个区别。
But on the topmost platform, the Mahabhagavata, he just sees everybody as a devotee.
在最高的层面上，因为 Mahabhagavata 他看每一个人都是奉献者。
So they won't preach.
所以他就不传教。
也就是说，这个玛哈波伽瓦塔，这个玛哈是最高的。
不是波伽瓦坛，是巴格瓦塔。
巴格瓦塔，对，巴格瓦塔，就是玛哈是，就说是最高的是吧？因为这是
Maha means the highest.
Yeah. Topmost Mahabhagavata. Topmost.
最高的。
谢谢。
So we want to be on the secondary platform.
我们想处于第2层面上。
We want to help to preach.
我们想帮助传教。
And we have to make distinction.
我们要做出区分。
Who is worthy? Who is good person to preach?
谁值得传教？谁是好人可以去传教？
And avoid the atheists.
要避免无神论者。
And blasphemers.
亵渎者。
Okay.
谢谢。
Any other question?
还有什么其他的问题吗
Yes. I'm Avati.
不得如何对待那些亵渎者，就是避免这种冒犯。
How to deal with those blasphemers?
What to do with them? We just avoid them.
我们就避免他们。
Because if we associate with them, they will just blaspheme more. They will commit more offenses.
因为如果你要跟他们一起联谊，他们就会更多的亵渎，做更多的冒犯。
So it's not good to try to associate or preach to them.
所以跟他们一起联谊，或者是给他们传教不好。
有时候有些人他们表面上你看不出来，就是他内心里面不是抵触的，但是表面上你就是看不出来的，就是他表面上很尊重。
Well, if we don't know what platform they're on, of course, then we may try and give some mercy.
如果我们不知道他们处在什么样的层面上，我们可能也会试图给他们一些仁慈。
But as soon as they reveal their nature, if they start to blaspheme, criticize like that, then you have to avoid.
但如果一旦他们暴露出自己的本性，开始批评别人，开始亵渎别人，你就去避免他们。
Their time has not come yet.
他们的时候还没到。
You have to wait more time before they become ready for Krishna consciousness.
你要等待更长的时间，等他们为 Krishna 知觉做好准备了再说。
We cannot imitate Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda.
我们不能够模仿主 Chaitanya 和主 Nityananda。
They could go and deliver these people.
他们可以去拯救这种人。
But we are not so empowered.
但是我们没有受到赋予这么大的力量。
We have to find the innocent people.
我们要找到天真的人。
people who are innocent, who are ready to hear.
那些天真的人，他们愿意聆听的，
And give them the mercy.
给他们仁慈。
就是说，我们不能够净化别人，但是我们可以按他们的需要给予别人。
Yeah. Yeah, we have to. The second-class person can discriminate who is the best candidate.
第二流的人呢，他们可以分辨出到底谁是最恰当的候选人。
The preacher, he knows which person is going to take advantage of Krishna consciousness.
一个传教者知道哪个人他会更有好好的利用 Krishna 知觉。
Who is ready to hear? Who's ready to start trying to chant?
谁愿意聆听？谁已经准备好去唱诵了？
And we give the special mercy. We give more importance to trying to cultivate them and to encourage them.
然后我们给他们身上多花精力，努力的去培养他们，鼓励他们。
也有这样的人，他们也做一些间接的服务，间接的服务，但是他就是不念主的生命，他也挺想帮助，也挺想好像帮助奉献者的，也可以跟奉献者一块联结，也可以跟奉献者一块交谈呀，但是他就不念主的生命。
They won't chant.
Yes, I think she's referring to her husband. They ask this such kind of questions all the time.
So, what is their position? She wants to know. What is?
She wants to know how to deal with this. She wants to have her husband.
Well, we just encourage people to do more service.
我们就鼓励让这样的人多做服务。
If they do more and more service, huh?
They also take prasadam.
Yeah, they can eat prasadam. Yeah, but they shouldn't be cooking prasadam.
但他们不能够做 prasadam， 烹调不行。
那他倒没做。
没错。
啊，但是他荣耀，你给他
很好。
非常。
Yeah, we give 我们给所有的人 prasadam。我们也鼓励所有的人可以做服务。他们可能开始不愿意念诵，可是如果他们说他们的服务越来越多以后，他们可以慢慢的接受也念 Hare Krishna。因为他们的耳包慢慢的消除。
他还可以给奉献者提出一些好的建议来。他都那什么，就是不念这主。
Chanting Hare Krishna is the beginning of devotional service.
唱诵 Hare Krishna 是奉献服务的开始。
If they don't chant Hare Krishna, but they like to do service for the devotees, then they're getting some sukriti, some pious activities.
如果他们不愿意唱诵 Hare Krishna， 他们愿意服务奉献者的话，他们是得到一些 sukritis， 就是一些虔诚活动的结果。
And gradually they will, if they keep on doing these service for Krishna and serving the devotees, gradually they will take up devotional service.
如果他们继续的这样的服务 Krishna， 服务奉献者，他们终于就会开始念诵，开始真正奉献服务。
他也服务突袭，也帮着你做一些服务，帮着人们，他就不念诵这个。就是没有开始念诵这个主的这个圣名。
They're coming closer. 他们慢慢的越来越接近做服务。
你就昨天我们一块交谈哈，我是跟咕噜队汇报啊。昨天我们一块交谈，我们就说了怎么给咕噜做什么好吃的，这咕噜爱吃什么呀？咕噜这有什么？我们就一块交谈。他在旁边听着，他说的，你们这样说不太好。咕噜到了在那么高的层次，不会就像你们所想象的那么什么，你知道吧？就是好像他就是有时候好像跟奉献者一块交谈吧，好像还觉得他对这个，他对怕就对咕噜对什么的，好像都挺尊敬，都挺什么。就是想没念诵主的圣名。
Yeah, he's preparing himself for devotional service.
他在让自己为做奉献服务而准备。
The more he serves the devotees, the more the devotees will bless him.
他越服务奉献者，奉献者们就越祝福他。
By the blessings of the devotees, and he will also take up devotional service.
通过奉献者们的祝福，他也会开始从事奉献服务。
We don't become a devotee just by pious activities.
我们成为奉献者，不是说是出于我们的虔诚活动，
It has to come by the blessing of a devotee.
必须要来自于奉献者们的祝福。
So his pious activities are not ordinary because his service is all in relation to devotees and devotional service.
他的虔诚活动是不普通的，因为他的这些服务呢，都是跟Krishna、跟奉献者有关。
So gradually he will be able to take up the chanting of Hare Krishna.
所以呢，逐渐的他就会接受唱诵 Hare Krishna。
Okay? So we will stop here now.
所以我们现在就结束。
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go back to Vrinda ki jai.